The big difference is Law & Order was self-contained episodes. This is an 8-part continuing series, and it's really obviously more character-driven than even Criminal Intent. And it's basically trying to answer the question of why did this crime happen? And if we're so lucky that this continues as an anthology series, I think that's the main question that people are interested in. It's not so much just the what happened, but why, because most people know what happened here. This is the story of probably one of the most dysfunctional families in American history. If you lived in LA, there were two big cases in the 90s. One was OJ, and the other one was the Menendez case. I think it's a case that hit people where they lived. You know, the parents were interested in this. You know, parents who worked so hard to put food on the table and a roof over the, even though it's a Beverly Hills roof, over the heads of their kids. And oh my God, is this the thanks we get? Our kids kill us. So I think it coming on the heels of kind of the go-go Reagan era, the market crash and sort of the rampant materialism of the 80s and early 90s, I think this was seen as, is this what it amounts to? That we strive for all this success just so our kids end up killing us. Behind all the smiles and the happy family pictures, there was horror going on. And I'm not just talking about the horror of the murders, but also the horrors of the dysfunction, the molestation, the incest that was going on in this family. I'd already started doing the research, and I said, Leslie Abramson is a very strong character and controversial, abrasive to some people, but a remarkably intelligent, competent defense attorney who really, courageous in the face of the prosecution and the power of the state. And I thought, she would be a great lens to see this story through. The Menendez case, it just became, entitled Rich Brats. Mm-hmm. And that was, sort of the tagline for it, even before they had heard sort of the facts of the abuse and all of that stuff. So, it was an era where crime became very sensationalized. This is the story that everybody thinks they know, but they're going to learn things about this case that is going to shock them, and we're going into the gory details of this. It's a case where a family broke every taboo, broke every boundary that there is within families, and I think that's going to give the audience kind of a reason to maybe reevaluate their impression. I mean, it's obviously some people will stick with their initial view of, rich brats killed their parents for money. I think a larger part of the audience may think, well, maybe they got overcharged. Maybe they shouldn't have been up for first-degree murder with the capital punishment. I think there'll be elements to it that will be familiar to the Law and Order fans, but it's obviously taking them into a very different place. So it is kind of an expansion of the brand. The elevator pitch, and it's a very short elevator ride, so this is the story of the most dysfunctional family ever in American history.